Okay, perfect. I'm gonna share my screen so we can see the PowerPoint. Let me just get this to where it should be. And we will get going in just 1 second. Okay, let's go to the beginning. Okay, so thank you all for coming out tonight. For anyone that can't join us live and is watching via the Curtis YouTube channel, thanks for watching this. We are going to be talking about course intentions, what they are, how to do them successfully, and we're going to show you live in RAMS how to make that enrollment process a little bit smoother. And then we're going to open up for some questions at the end in terms of what courses might be of interest to you, best practices for using RAMS, really anything you want to know. So let's get started. Oh, and of course, course intentions have started. They started on March 8th. You will have until March 14th at 11:59 p.m. to do them. So please do them within that week, because once that week is over, they are closed and you will not be able to submit them. So what are course intentions? They're not the same as your enrollment appointment. They actually tell RTA what classes you want to take next year, so they know how many spaces to include in their classes when they run and how many sections to run. So it's basically a way of ensuring that you let them know what you want so they can give it to you. They're also the first step to telling RAMS how to build your schedule. So when you do your course intentions and you submit them via RAMS, that's going to be what generates your schedule for you in the fall. So it's really important that you get them in during that week. But don't worry if you're not 100% sure on them, because if you submit them this week, you will have an opportunity to go through and change them later. And this is a process you should get comfortable with, because you're going to have to do them once a year, every year, until you graduate. So what are course intentions and what are they not? Course intentions are mandatory. You have to do them, otherwise you don't get that special little slot to go in during the Hunger Games and adjust your schedule. You have to wait for the open enrollment period, where you have to fight everybody from every program every year, and a lot of stuff will be taken by then. So it's really essential that you do them this week. They're required for both fall and winter. So you don't just submit them for the classes you want to take next fall, you also have to do the winter semester. And because they're open for 1 week, you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. You don't have to do that this year, and you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. for the course intention period anytime over your 4 years. You have the full week. You can do them at your leisure, because they're not first come, first serve. So spots in these classes are not going to fill up. It's not the Hunger Games. It's really just that survey process so that RTA and Ryerson can give you what you want. They're not a guarantee of enrollment. If you don't have the prerequisite for a class, or if you don't meet your conditions, or if a class has to be canceled or fills up somehow down the line, you're not guaranteed that you'll get in. There have been some issues with RAMS in the past where students have intended for things and then not ended up in them due to RAMS issues and due to scheduling conflicts. So if you intend for 2 classes that Ryerson decides to run at the same time, it's sort of up to RAMS which one you get into, and you will have that chance to go in and adjust later. But it is pretty close to enrollment, because it is that thing that's building your schedule. RAMS is also not the same as your enrollment appointment. That happens in the summer. That's after they've given you your schedule. You'll get to go in, you'll get to see who's teaching your classes, you'll get to move things around, but it's not something you have to fight with other students to get through. So the timeline for course intentions this week, and it changes every year slightly in terms of dates, but this year it's March 8th through 14th that you go into RAMS and you submit your intentions. If you do this process, and only if you do this process, do you get to go back in and adjust them from May 12th to 14th. So say you want to take a class that you didn't think about now. You weren't sure if you wanted to take audio, you weren't sure if you wanted to take a video class, that's okay. As long as you do your intentions, you will get the chance to go in and change them, to add things, to drop things, to swap things, May 12th to 14th. And again, you'll have the chance in August during your priority enrollment appointment to go in at 6 a.m. or I believe it's either 6 or 8 a.m. that you have to get up and actually move your schedule around to your taste, to your liking. That happens over the summer. But again, that's only if you do your intentions this week. If you don't do them, you're out of luck. So how do you prepare to intend? First, you take a look at your program's calendar. So if you just Google Ryerson New Media Calendar, Sport Media Calendar, Media Production Calendar, you'll see a full list for all 4 years of the courses you have to take. Then you need to look at the RTA core electives that are offered. You should get a list from either Donna or Angela in your email that will tell you every single RTA core elective that they're going to run next year. The ones that aren't on that list, unfortunately, are not running, so you won't be able to intend for them, but you'll have your pick of what's there. Then you have to pick your liberal studies via Table A and Table B, depending on whether you need the upper liberals or the lower liberals. So you'll go in and you'll take a look at what's offered there. Then you can pick your open electives via the open elective list. Again, this is something you can Google and go through at your leisure. You can also search RAMs to see what's offered. And at that point, you should be ready to intend. So now Emily's going to talk to you a little bit about the process for new media students and what they need to do.
Okay. So for new media students, you guys have to complete at least 4 of the new media and fine art courses. Keep that in mind. A lot of these courses are very popular amongst RTA, especially the making objects ones. And I'm still sad that they canceled it last semester. But you guys have to take at least 4 of these to graduate. Keep in mind, not all of these get offered every year or every semester, so you really have to keep an eye on which ones you want to take. And this is just kind of the list. I hope I got all of them of which ones you have to take. I hope I got all the courses. I actually don't know if I got all of them. But yeah, those are basically. So when you do your course intention, keep those in mind that you should take at least 1 or 2 of these next year or whenever you want. And that's basically it.
Great. So we will move on to sport media, and Sam is going to tell you about that.
Yeah, so for sport media, I kind of put in when the sport media calendar. So when you Google RTA sport media calendar, this is basically what would show up is what courses you're taking each semester. So the ones outlined in red are the ones that are required. And then depending on what semester, what year you're in, the different electives that you have to take. I know that in first year, sport media students had more electives than media production students, and I think new media students. And then, yeah, so we kind of go through them a little bit faster than the rest of our TA, basically. So yeah, I kind of divided it by first semester and second semester, just to kind of remind you that it's not all in one semester you have to take the required courses. But yeah, that's basically a quick screenshot of this. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about core electives in the next slide.
Perfect. I will go to that. There you go.
Okay, so this is just like a quick little side note for sport media. So unlike media production and new media, sport media doesn't have concentrations. So in media production and new media, you can declare a concentration, say in like audio, or I don't know the concentrations for new media, but I honestly don't remember. I literally just read them. But anyway, but there's different core electives for each program. So for example, these are some of the core electives that are being offered for next semester, like next fall and next winter. And always make sure that you have backups because not all of them will be running. So it's definitely key to have, at least 2 or 3 backups at sometimes. I've definitely been in a position where a sports writing class wasn't offered, even though I think at least half of our grade put into our course intentions, which is one of the rare times that that's happened. But yeah, I can put into the chat I have some links to all the different core electives and concentrations. So I just put that in the chat, and I'm sure that'll be in the description of the YouTube video, hopefully. But yeah, so everything that kind of explains the core electives to each thing, to each different program, and how the concentrations work for new media and media production. And that's basically sport media stuff.
Great, thank you, Sam. Let's move on to media production. So this is sort of the list of what you would need to intend for depending on what year you're in. If you're in second year, in blue, you can find your mandatory courses, and then you've got some options. So if we look at second year fall semester, you have to do RTA 315, which is the business of creative media, I believe, then RTA 316, which is concepts in narrative. Then you get your choice of an intermediate audio or video course. That would be single cam or multicam for the video and intermediate audio for the audio. Or you can do 2 digital media courses from the table that is listed in the calendar, plus a lower liberal. In the winter, you do media aesthetics, 2 RTA core electives from that list that Donna and Angela send out, 1 open elective, and a lower liberal. And again, it sort of builds on this year to year, but when in doubt, check the calendar. Something important to note about this is that this isn't a fixed structure. The mandatory courses they only run these for the most part once a year, so it's recommended that you take them in this order at that time. But you can move your open electives, your liberal studies, and your core electives around to suit you. As long as you have enough credits to graduate in the end, that is what they care about. So if you want to take 2 open electives one year and 1 core elective, that's fine, as long as you make up for that other core elective that you need down the line. So here are just some tips for success with the intentions process and with classes in general. You really want to watch for the prerequisites and anti-requisites for your courses. You can find those on the course description pages in the calendars. You have to intend courses for both your fall and your winter semester. If you leave one out, then your schedule's not going to get built properly, so please do both. You have to intend for your mandatory courses. So in your first year, they enrolled you automatically in things like your creative processes course, but for your years going forward, you have to do that yourself. You have to enroll yourself. The other thing a lot of students miss is checking out. They think that adding the course to their cart is enough, but it is not. You have to go through and actually enroll and see the confirmation screen that it's been added to your cart, you've checked out, and it's going to be a part of your schedule. Another important thing is to take advantage of the opportunity to adjust these intentions in May. Again, that only happens if you do them this week, so please, please do them this week. And when in doubt, you can email Angela if you're in first and second year, or Donna Morrison if you are in third and fourth year, and they will help you with any academic concerns you might have, anything with your schedule you're not sure of. They're your go-to people. And of course, you can always reach out to any of us. We've done the intention process several times, and we're happy to try to help wherever we can. So now Emily is going to take you to RAMS to do a live demo on how you actually submit your intentions to make sure that you're checking out and the process is going smoothly. So I will unshare my screen. Just give me one moment.
Okay. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay. Can you guys all see my screen? What says this? Because I was just testing stuff out. Okay. So just in case if you guys don't know how to do it, I'll just briefly click through. So what you want to do is you can go to either add class or enrollment card, whatever, doesn't matter. And then you would go to the next semester. So in our case, it's fall of 2021. And then so here I already have a course added in, but you would go to your class offered or class search, doesn't matter. I'll just add a random course in just for today. So let's see what's offered. Okay, so I don't know, let's do audio production. For example, say I'm gonna take that next year, or sorry, next semester. What you do is you go to select, and then you go next, and then you go next again, and then you would proceed and continue to finish enroll. Because if you don't click on finish enroll, number one, it will have an X status, meaning that you didn't enroll properly. And if there is, you should go contact Donna or Angela, whatever the case might be. And then when you have successfully enrolled, it will have a check mark, and then you can go back. Oops, not that. Okay, so Rams is like very confusing, guys, for me as well too. So when you go back, you should see that these are the courses that you have done for your course intention. And if you are missing some, because of whatever reason, you can always go back within this week and fix it, or you can contact Donna or Angela. And I think that's it for most of it. Yeah.
Yep, it's as simple as that. Again, make sure you're looking for the green check marks beside them. And don't worry if it doesn't give you the time or the professor. If it just says course intention on it, that's exactly what you're supposed to be seeing right now. Because they haven't actually determined who's teaching what and when. They're going to use the information you give them to decide that later down the line. So that's how you do your course intentions. That's why they're important. Again, please do them. The staff, the faculty really like it when you do them on time, because if you don't, then they have to go in and try to enroll you manually, and it's a bit of a headache. But yeah, it's as simple as that. And if anyone has any questions on the intentions process, the enrollment process, or wants any insight or recommendations for classes that might be of interest, please feel free to type them in the chat or come off mute and ask. And thank you so much for listening to us present this. I'm going to stop the recording.